Do-do-do-do-do. Welcome. This is Rich with Unlimited Cards. If you are here, you're well off the beaten path. In the shadows of Pride Rock Land, I am a nobody. Topic of discussion today is finances and just people and money. It's really interesting to look into the history of just kind of money and how the wealth gap was created over time. And I mean, you can go back as far as 1700s, 1800s. I mean, even farther back than then, if you want to live in the Babylonian age or, whatever crap people say. But either way, there's always been an economy of what we feel is worthy. And then there's always discussions on whether, it's a bubble, it's going to burst, or, this thing isn't worth anything. I mean, if you really, really think about it, reach into your wallet. If you got cash, I mean, who knows who carries cash anymore, but reach in your wallet, look at the cash, and tell me that that's worth something, right? Most people would say, yes, it's worth something, right? But there are a few people out there that would say, you know what? It's just a piece of paper, right? And so this perceived notion of what things are worth, right? Like cards. I mean, what they're worth. Here we go. Get it on the video. It's all in the mind, right? Can it crash? Yes. I mean, if everybody woke up one day and said, you know what, this cash in my wallet is just a bunch of paper, I'm going to use it for toilet paper, I don't think you could use money anymore. Maybe people would flock to gold or, jewels or, imagine, I give you my Abzan charm for my rent. It's interesting how it's trended over time, though. And just a little tidbit, there were deals that were made back in the history of America, way back when, where a lot of the wealthy people were fueled with more monetary value because they made some deal where they would use that monetary value to improve the economy, help people with less, things like that. Go figure, it didn't really happen that way. And over time, people just kind of wanted to hoard the money for themselves, their own families, and their generational wealth. Whether that's good or bad, I mean, you guys can argue about it. It just is what it is, right? And so as these people are getting fueled with more and more money, which it becomes easier to make money over time when you have a lot, there's a lot of people that unfortunately have not made it. And there's a lot of people that are either hardworking or not hardworking, who live on a very low income scale, don't have much, and there's a lot of people with very large amounts of wealth. And as time goes on, the numbers will get bigger, and thus the numbers will get smaller, right? We all know about that concept. But the thing I wanted to think about is just like, how does this affect magic, right? Well, I think in two ways it does. Number one, it's going to cause a lot more gambling, right? And this is kind of why people feel like you need a serialized card in the set, right? Come on, Spider-Man. Still love it, still buying it. And people want that chase. They want the value card, whatever it is. And then, there's a lot of people who play as well. So not only taking that hit, I mean, you get all your pieces for your deck or whatever, or just a bunch of crap that just molds in the closet, right? So this gambling epidemic, like gambling, I'd say there are really not that many people at the higher level that gamble. And if they do it with a very small percentage of their net worth, like I don't think people use more than 2% of their net worth to gamble. when you're at that really high level. Why? Because you incur ridiculous losses sometimes. And that thrill is only compartmentalized to like the smaller I don't like using the term uneducated. The smaller it is uneducated, but to me it's like a derogatory term. The smaller unknowing people, right? uh the people that don't have much, that are going for the chase, or frankly maybe you have more but you just simply have a problem with addiction, right? You like the thrill of gambling and just going for it. So that's the first problem, right? And that's why during this time, is it going to crash? I mean, we're doing pretty good. There's a lot of statistics out there that say that this bull run's going to continue unless we have some serious shock that people aren't looking for. I mean, everybody's talking about this and that. If it happens, they're going to say, I was right this whole time, but I mean, there have been people predicting crashes for years now. It hasn't happened. It hurt for a while, but it hasn't crashed for a while. And so, people that do that, they're going to be right at some point, but they're going to be wrong a bunch of times until they're right. And because of our stupid minds and how we always think in the moment, we forget the past and we don't think about the future, then, we're going to say, whoa, this person called it, even though they've been calling it for years and they were right once, right? How many times did Nostradamus have a theory about something, huh? What did you have? Thousands of predictions? Millions? No, he called it. He's the man. A legend. So gambling is obviously one of the problems. The other thing I was thinking about, though, is let's say we keep going on this bull run, okay? What everybody in the world wants, where you get less product and you have to pay more for them. Let's say it just keeps going up, right? Let's say, I don't know, what's coming up? We got Avatar coming up. I don't know. We'll say The Office, one of the most iconic sets of magic, The Office. Get Dwight Schrute out on the table. So The Office, let's say that comes, is it a secret I have no idea what kind of, is that standard legal? Anyways, let's say it's a secret lair, okay? And it comes out and it's $2,000 a box. Well, if we're in a world where it goes to 3,000, people are obviously going to buy it, right? It's why vintage magic is so down and depressed right now. It's not the price point. Obviously, people are paying $50,000 for like a master case of Lord of the Rings. So it's not the price point. People still will throw whatever they can at gambling. It's the fact that it has a possible return. That's the gambler's premium. And so if things just keep going up, the people that just simply get pushed out, because not everybody has $50,000 to throw down on Lord of the Rings to find a one ring serialized, or, the hell of amount of cards that have value in that set. They're going to start retreating down the levels, right? So they're going to find other methods. And here's my hot take here. If we see this continue, personally, I think we could see some sort of boom or growth in Pauper. Not only Pauper, I would say, like low-end reserve list as like, an investment or speculation, but like actually a lot of people playing Pauper because it's cheap. And frankly, it's kind of fun playing Pauper because you have to think about it more. So a lot of people with no money, most of them probably have a ton of free time as well. And so you can sit there and really think about your deck, and maybe you have friends that play too, and it's the only thing you got because you don't have much or whatever. It's a sad reality for a lot of people out there. Some people, I think, choose it. I have less empathy for that. So if you're choosing that, you're making your own destruction. Some people get pushed into it. More empathy towards them. But in the end, I personally think I think this bull run continues. I could be completely wrong. Frankly, a week from now, the government opens up again, we get job numbers, it crashes, and we all die. That is possible. But I think it continues because we're in a very greedy stage, but the over amount of greed, yes, it's in certain areas and segments, but it's not overall. And so just a thought is there's a very good chance this could continue. And if it does, I think people are going to find more interest in the cheaper cards. So here's the next segment of this video. If you're a seller out there and you choose only to sell flashy, expensive, high-end cards, you're probably going to lose more than people that have all the crap out there, Like, I mean, who is going to buy, let's see, is this, yeah. What we got here? I can't even read it backwards. Airtight alibi. This is my airtight alibi. Someone's gonna buy this one day. Like, nobody cares about that card. But as you add more and more people into a pool of like a certain segment of the market, whether they're forced there or they choose to be there, you have more options of selling that, thus making bulk, small end, shitty cards, useless, more valuable. It's kind of a weird thing. Now, weirdly, this happens in the bear market too, because that's when people are hurting, and so they want to spend less on cards. I've sold through this bear market of 2022 and 2023. I started my selling in 2020, and then very, very small in 2021. And then basically all I've been doing has been from the bear market on. So what I'm seeing now is incredible because I'm not used to selling in a bull run. I sold a bit in 2021. It was insane. You make insane value on cards. But I forgot that because all I knew was the bear market. That's when I started my store. I think that's the best thing possible because you can only go up from there, right? I think people that really dive in bull markets, it hurts bad when they get into the bear market. But these kind of cards, I mean, someone's going to want to buy them. Why? Because Magic is a great game. Magic is addictive. It brings you back in, right? If you're in there, you're probably hooked enough to come back at least once in your life, if not 15 freaking times. The amount of times I left Magic and came back here because I love the game so much, whether I have people that I can play with or not, I just want to be a part of it, right? Because I love the game. I mean, nowadays I don't play with people, but it's still, I have a deck, and if somebody comes around, let's do it. Like, I'm really into selling, obviously, but it draws you back in is my point. And as it draws you back in, if things get more and more expensive, people are going to go for the cheaper things. And so my end point here is if you're not seeing that Pauper could possibly have a growth period or a spurt at some point, and you don't have those cards for sale, you're going to miss out. You're going to come in late, whatever. And that's why you need to kind of diversify, not just in your investments, but you need to diversify if you're a seller. anything in life, because you don't know. Just because everybody's chasing the hot thing right now, it does not mean that they're not going to go for the thing that's less hot. And so, does that mean avoid the hot things? No, you're more cautious with them, and then you can dive more into things that you think are valuable that people are not looking at right now. And frankly, it adds little sales for sellers out there. If someone looks and they see just flashy cards on your site, well, they'll buy one flashy card, but what if they need that common or that uncommon for their set? The uncommon slot is one of the slots that almost nobody pays attention to, and it has so much value in it. I don't know. This is my rant, but personally, here's my hot take for what comes up. I think we see growth and potential in Pauper. I don't think it's going to go to the moon like it did when it started, but I do think there's growth there. And when there's growth at small numbers like that, does this mean speculate and buy all the Pauper cards? No! If you're doing that, you're probably a dumbass. I'm just saying, list them. Get them out there. If you have them sitting there and you find it a waste of time, maybe it's worth more in the future. I don't know. I could be completely wrong about this, but personally, I think that Pauper is going to have some sort of future, and I'm going to be there with my cards waiting. Let's see what we got. Oh, these aren't all comments. Ooh, Fanatical Strength coming your way. What are they doing in that picture? I have no idea why that's Fanatical Strength. Maybe that's why people don't like Murders. Murders in Karlov Manor. Oh man, what else do we got? Should we look at some cards here? Wait, we gotta find Pauper cards. Wait, we got Pauper cards? What else we got? Ooh, Junk Blade. Bruiser! Going for the bruising. What else we got here? Got a few artifacts here. Everybody wants to see artifacts. Everyone always buys the artifact. These are all uncommons. Hey, beautiful card. Do you guys know how much this card used to go for? Times are forgotten. Are forgotten. Just do it all. Why do one thing when you could do it all? Enjoy.